A very good evening to you all. You're joining us on Prime TV News. I'm Dilani Jatilaka. Let's have a look at the headlines first. The Premier emphasises that the Cabinet has no right to meddle into affairs of the Parliamentary Select Committee. Asad Salih affirms before the Parliamentary Select Committee that he gave information about National Tawheed Jamaat to several defence secretaries. The US State Secretary is to visit Sri Lanka. A letter of demand sent to Vimal Veeravansa by Satosa. Imran Khan asks Pakistanis to disclose assets before the 30th of June. Now for news in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says the Cabinet of Ministers has no right to meddle into affairs of the Parliamentary Select Committee on the Easter Sunday terrorist attack. The Premier made these comments at a meeting with a group of representatives from civil society organisations and trade unions. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe stressed that he is ready to safeguard supremacy of public franchise and sovereignty of the Parliament. The Prime Minister also denounced the statement made by former Governor of Eastern Province MLAM Hizbullah in Khattan Kudi. He promised to acquire the university being constructed in the Eastern Province to the government. The Premier said that he will request the Parliamentary Select Committee to keep away media when officers attached to the intelligence services testifying before the Select Committee. The Prime Minister revealed that a new council will be formed to improve reconciliation among different faiths and religious groups. He pointed out that the current Cabinet of Ministers would not be cancelled, though meetings would not take place. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe pointed out that in the calibre of the leader of the biggest party in the Parliament, he appointed the Cabinet subject to the endorsement of the House. He also explained that the Parliamentary Select Committee is a fruit of the Parliament's endorsement. Former Governor of the Western Province, Asad Salih, appeared before the Parliamentary Select Committee probing the Easter Sunday terrorist attack. Asad Salih affirmed before the Parliamentary Select Committee that he gave information about National Tawheed Jamaat to several defence secretaries. The Parliamentary Select Committee sat at 2 p.m. today. The event was open for media today as well. The U.S. State Department has confirmed that U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is slated to visit Sri Lanka. Spokesperson of the State Department, Morgan Ortega, stated that the U.S. State Secretary is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka following a visit in India. The U.S. State Secretary will arrive in India on the 24th of this month. He will be travelling in Sri Lanka in between the 24th and the 30th of this month. The American official will be discussing on the support that can be extended to Sri Lanka in the post-Easter Sunday terrorist attack situation. Mike Pompeo's next visit will be Japan to attend G20 State Leaders Summit. Meanwhile, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is to send a special envoy to Sri Lanka for talks on several key issues. The Japanese Prime Minister's special advisor, Dr. Hiroto Izumi, is expected to meet Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe between the June 20th and 22nd. The Prime Minister will discuss the revision of the travel advisory on Sri Lanka by the Japanese government during the meeting, the Prime Minister's office said. He is also expected to discuss issues over the Central Expressway project and the joint deal with India and Sri Lanka on the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port. The Yellanga Irrigation System Rehabilitation Initiative will commence from Kurunegala under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena tomorrow. By renovating traditional Yellanga irrigational system, the government aims to give a new lease of life to the Rajarata areas of the country. Accordingly, by rehabilitating 21 ancient tanks in the Kurunegala district, 3,000 acres of abandoned paddy fields will be ploughed. The inauguration program of the initiative will be conducted at the Kotakibulakada area in Panduasnuwara. The government plans to repair more than 2,400 rural tanks that have been connected by the Elanga system. The Elanga irrigational system is a unique technology used by many generations in the island. Newly appointed Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sumangala Dias called on Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. The meeting between the Air Force Chief and the Premier was held at Temple Trees this afternoon. The Air Force Commander presented a memento to the Prime Minister marking the meeting. Defence Coordinator to the Premier, Major General Sumit Balasuriya, was also present at the event. The government has signed the statement of corporate intent with 10 selected state-owned enterprises with a view to enhance the performance of these institutions. The agreements were signed on 10th June at the Randora Auditorium of the Ministry of Finance. The Department of Public Enterprises introduced the concept of SCI in 2017 with a view to enhance the performance of SOEs. This concept was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers on 7th February 2017 and was initiated by signing SCIs with 5 key SOEs: Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, Ceylon Electricity Board, Sri Lanka Ports Authority, Airport and Aviation Services Limited and National Water Supply and Drainage Board. Subsequently, followed by the approval of the Cabinet of Ministers, it was planned to sign SCIs with another 10 selected SOEs: Sri Lanka State Plantation Corporation, Urban Development Authority, Lanka Satusa Private Limited, Central Engineering Consultancy Bureau, State Timber Corporation, Kurunagala Plantation Private Limited, State Pharmaceuticals Corporation, Milco Private Limited, National Livestock Development Board, and Geological Survey and Mines Bureau. SCI is a tripartite agreement signed among the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Secretary of the relevant line ministry and the Chairman of the respective SOE on behalf of the Board of Directors with the mission of creating a platform for SOEs to operate in a commercially viable manner in order to achieve macroeconomic objectives of the country. On the success of the implementation of this program, the government is expecting to extend this move for the other 400 SOEs as well by time to time, the Ministry of Finance said.
As per the recent financial statistics available to us 2018, the total revenue generated by 54 big SOEs amounting to 1,916 billion rupees. We are closer to 2 trillion. Efficient as well as vibrant business operation in SOEs is an essential factor needed to establish and maintain investor-friendly economic climate which will contribute to the steady growth of the economy of our country. Therefore, it is imperative that SOEs should be managed efficiently and effectively, benefiting the average citizen. In this context, the strengthening governance and accountability and transparency of SOEs. This initiative was an important milestone in the process of SOEs reform in this country, enabling them to be transparent, accountable and performance driven. Further, we are expecting to extend this move for all the other state-owned business sector enterprises on the success of the implementation of this program on step-by-step basis.
The Satusa has sent a letter of demand to parliamentarian Vimal Weerawansa for damaging goodwill of the organisation. In the letter of demand, the Satusa has demanded 1 billion rupees from the parliamentarian. According to the complainant, the statement made by Vimal Weerawansa that vehicles of the organisation was used for terrorist activities is totally false. The organisation has also lodged a complaint to the IGP against Vimal Weerawansa. Meanwhile, the Bribery or Corruption Allegations Investigation Commission says former Chief of the President's Staff, Kusumadasa Mahanama, and former Chairman of the State Timber Corporation, P. Dissanayake, will be litigated. The Commission made the statement before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today. The two former government officials have been accused on soliciting bribes from an Indian company to grant approval to assign machinery and equipment of the Kantale sugar factory to the said Indian entity. The two officials had demanded 540 million rupees bribe, and they were caught when taking 20 million rupees out of the total. The Bribery Commission informed the court that preliminary investigations have been completed at present. The person who had made an attempt to give bribes to the OIC of the Horopatana police station to get released one of his relatives who had connections with the National Tawhid Jamaat was re-remanded till the 18th of next month. The order was given by the Chief Magistrate of Colombo. The field officer who had attempted to give bribes to the police has been identified by name as Mohammed Shifan. The foreign travel ban, which has been imposed on former director of Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Rumi Jafar Ahmed, was removed till the 31st of January by the Fort Magistrates Court. Rumi Jafar Ahmed has been accused on misappropriating funds of the authority. Parliamentarian Nalinda Jayatissa states that the joint opposition is propagating a wrong idea that the Special Parliamentary Select Committee on Easter Sunday attack reveals important intelligence information. Nalinda Jayatissa was speaking in an awareness campaign that was held at the JVP office of Kaluthara North. The parliamentarian highlighted that even MPs of the joint opposition also signed the document to appoint the Parliamentary Select Committee. He pointed out that the individuals who appear before the Select Committee are well versed in national security and they know their limits. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the parliamentary session that approved opening of the Parliamentary Select Committee to media was also attended by the joint opposition MPs. The National Conference on Colombo Wetlands, organized by the Centre for Environmental Justice, was held in Colombo today. The conference has been supported by the UN and it is intended to create a national dialogue on conservation of wetlands. The role of Central Environmental Authority, the Urban Development Authority and Forest Conservation Department was discussed at length in the conference. Executive Director of the Centre for Environmental Justice, Hemanta Vithanage, said that Sri Lanka has 30 endemic animal species and 9 tree species in wetlands. He also highlighted that conservation of wetlands has multiple benefits, including mitigating effects of climatic changes, flood control, and mental relaxation of the people. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara, says heads of the security sections have not reacted promptly to the intelligence information that was received in connection with the Easter Sunday terrorist attack. Dayasiri Jayasekara was speaking at a press briefing that was held at the SLFP headquarters. The General Secretary noted that the head of the State Intelligence Service had failed to give necessary instructions in connection with the intelligence reports. He pointed out that the Chief of the State Intelligence Service was not in the country during the period. Dayasiri Jayasekara also questioned the rationale behind the SIS head's tour in Singapore in between the 13th and 16th of April in a situation where intelligence reports were at his hands. According to the General Secretary of the SLFP, the Defence Secretary had also failed in performing his duties. The Association of Sri Lanka Self-Employees says the charge for first kilometre of trishaw rides will be raised by 10 rupees from midnight today. This was revealed at a press briefing that was held in Colombo today. President of the association, Sunil Jayaratne, noted that the decision was taken as price of oil and spare parts was raised recently. Accordingly, they will charge 60 rupees for the first kilometre of the ride from midnight today. The charge for additional kilometres will be 40 rupees per kilometre. Sunil Jayaratne requested a fuel subsidy to make their industry sustainable. 2 people were killed in a road accident that took place at the Ravana Alla area in Alla. A trishaw that was plying on the Alla-Vallavaya road had skidded off into a 500-metre precipice at the Kapolla area and 2 out of the 6 passengers travelled by the 3-wheeler died. The police and the residents of the area had to engage in a tiresome mission to rescue the people who met with the accident. It took 5 hours to rescue the victims. The injured individuals were rushed to the Bandarawela and Badulla hospitals. According to hospital sources, 2 women have been killed in the tragedy. 3 youngsters are also among the victims. All arrangements are being finalized to celebrate the National Pozon Festival in Anuradhapura from the 13th to the 19th of this month. District Secretary of Anuradhapura R.M. Wanninayaka said that a strong security plan has been devised to ensure safety of the devotees who come to Anuradhapura during the Pozon week. A comprehensive transportation plan has also been put in place. Accordingly, the Railway Department, the Sri Lanka Transport Board and the National Transport Commission has implemented a concerted plan to provide transport means to the general public who arrive in Anuradhapura to engage in religious observances. Timetable and planning manager of the SLTB, Rajiva Diluksha, said that more buses will be deployed to places where popular sacred lands are located. Meanwhile, the special train services will commence on Friday. The Railway Department sources say the first train will leave at 12:45 p.m. on Friday. 3 special trains will be added during the Pozon week. The National Youth Services Council holds a Pozon song from the 13th to the 18th at the council's premises in Maharagama. A series of religious programs have been arranged at the Nelligala International Buddhist Centre. Meanwhile, Association of the Public Health Inspectors say that 200 dansalas have been registered for the Pozon season. The registration process is on till the 15th of this month. Anubudu Mihindu Vandana program organised by the ITN Media Network will be held at the Situlpawwa Rajamaha Viharaya, featuring a series of religious programs. Up next is Biz News.
The Sri Lanka rupee opened firmer at 176 rupees and 45 cents or 60 cents against the US dollar in the spot market, while bond yields were steady and stocks were flat in the first hour of trading. The rupee closed Friday at 176 rupees and 50 cents or 55 cents against the US dollar. Sri Lanka's rupee peg with the US dollar has strengthened in 2019 as private credit fell. The dealer said in the secondary market, gilt yields were wider due to uncertainty. In April, the government converted dollars to meet domestic expenses, pushing rates lower. The government is expected to see revenue weaknesses following the fall in credit, which had also slowed imports along with the suicide blasts.
That's all we have for you today. Have a pleasant week. Good night.